Good evening. I'd like to call to order a special meeting of the City of Satellite Beach City Council, date December 8th, 2012, approximately 6 p.m. Please rise for a moment of silence and a pledge. Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. We will take citizens' comments on each item on the agenda tonight. First item, accept the resignation of Councilmember Billman.
So move.
So a motion by Councilwoman Gott. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilman Breimer. At this time, I'll open it up for citizens' comments.
Unless somebody can correct me, I think I'm the oldest surviving mayor of this city. It's kind of in my view, a very sad moment in the history of the city when we come to this point. Oh, I am a resident. I've already said that, so. I have a relatively short message to pass on to you. One is, I urge you to reject and not accept the resignation of Councilman Billman. Regardless of his or my or your ideology, he does represent every resident of this city. He may have been elected by a lot smaller number, but in the process of doing that, he was voted to represent the city. I think it would be wrong to deny a significant portion of the electorate and the residents from having him. I sat back one time and started to think, you know, a clock that is stopped is right twice a day. So regardless of my feelings or his feelings, he can provide a significant contribution of another side of the story. So, repeating that, I urge you to reject it. I'm not sure what the process would be after that if it were to occur, but we'll try it if necessary.
Pat, let me address that just to let you know. I found out about this the morning of December 7th at 7 o'clock when I saw it in the newspaper. And I waited till 7:10, tried not to be rude. I called Councilman Billman's house. He had already left for work. His wife gave me his telephone number, and I proceeded in making a phone call to him. That was approximately 7:15. I talked to him for between 10 and 15 minutes until he got to the Space Center, at which time he was walking into a meeting. I asked him what would happen if I rejected his letter of resignation. And I said, if this was done in the heat of the moment and there was any second thoughts you had, I wanted to make sure that I gave you that opportunity. We talked for 10 to 15 minutes, and he assured me that this is what he wanted to do. Absolutely. He said when he came to peace with himself, he had the best night's sleep he's had in 2 years. We left in good terms talking, and I let it sit for a day until this morning, and I talked to Fred Bailey, and I said, Fred, you're probably his closest friend. We have a meeting tonight. If there's going to be any chance of him pulling it, he really needs to get a hold of us before 6 o'clock. And he emailed me back and said, no, his message is final. So I did reach out to try to make that attempt to make sure that we did what we could there and it wasn't something in the heat of the moment. So that's what I tell the council. That was the conversation I had with Mr. Billman and with Fred. So that just to let you know, we did do that. Any other comment? No?
Having read the discourse put out,
about the reason Mr. Billman resigned. I think part of it's pretty clear that some of the actions of the rules that were being amended for how the council operates were directed specifically at him. And I think from proceedings that was the case. And I think for the same reason that, maybe the proceedings are amended so that council people don't address themselves and people don't address individual council people, why it should be that way.
Thank you. Any other citizen comment?
Charles Hinton, I'm a resident of the city. I was at the meeting on, I think it was the 6th or whatever day it was, and my feeling was that the council had reached out an olive branch for him in regard to the Skype. My reading was that all 3 members of the council that were here were against that, of course, except for Mr. Billman. And after a lot of discussion, and the person I was sitting back there, person in front of me, mentioned grandfathering it, and when I had an opportunity to speak, I also said that I thought that might be appropriate for grandfathering. And so I saw that the council had listened to that and had taken out an offer to give him a privilege which they did not plan to extend to anybody else in the future, and I thought that was a worthwhile effort. I've attended several things in which the person we're talking about made comments which I felt were ill-advised in regard to his position within the city, in regard to the way he wished to farm things out, the fact that he thought that any person who had property in the city had a right to use it any way he wanted, the fact that he said that if somebody built a house in a dangerous place or a dangerous way, he thought that was their problem. And I thought that was inconsistent with what the city's position. And so, although I would have been well agreeable to him to continue on there like as 2 votes to 3, if he wishes off, then I think that's fine, sir.
Thank you. Any other comment? Hearing none, close comment. Any other council comments?
I think his resignation speaks for itself.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to thank you for reaching out to him and trying to encourage him to remain. I myself find it a little disheartening that the man decided to resign, but as Mr. Hinton indicated, I was certainly amenable to him attending by Skype and whatever means possible. So, but I would just like to thank you for making the effort that you did to try to resolve whatever issues the man had. So I appreciate that.
Ready for vote? Lenore?
Councilmember Bott?
Yes.
Sorry, Vice Mayor Breimer first.
Yes.
Councilmember Bott?
Yes.
Mayor Medina?
Yes. Okay. Agenda item number 2 passes. Agenda item number 3. Let me read you one thing real quick here concerning the vacancy on the council. A vacancy shall occur upon the death, resignation, forfeiture of office, or lawful removal of a council member. Part B says council member no later than 30 days after vacancy occurs in the seat of a council member other than mayor, the city council shall appoint a replacement to serve until the next regular election. Okay, so that's by our city charter. Lenore found this form, and I think it's a good form. It makes anybody eligible who meets the qualification as being able to vote in the county, a resident of the city of Satellite Beach for 12 months. And I think we should make this available at City Hall, put it on the website, whomever would like to fill out the application to serve, that we do so. And just remember that we are on a time strain of 30 days, and if my calculation's right, it's before January 5th. It started the day the letter was sent, which was the 6th. So
I don't know where this form came from, but it's clearly intended for Brevard County. It says, are you duly registered to vote in Brevard County? It should be Satellite Beach.
that's fine, we'll make that correction.
Supervisor of Elections is Brevard County, who does all the...
Our charter says you have to be a registered voter in Satellite Beach, and that's always been the threshold question.
Okay. So where Brevard County is, we want to substitute Satellite Beach?
Yes.
Okay.
And in addition, I think that the question that's on here is good as far as it goes, but I don't think it's sufficient. You know, when anybody is actually running for office, they decide for themselves what they think the issues are that they want to run on, and they propose solutions. And I would like to include 3 other questions on here, and give folks who want to apply the opportunity to think about these ahead of time. And the questions would be, what are the 3 most important issues that you see facing Satellite Beach now? What would be your proposed solutions? And what strengths or abilities do you bring to help resolve those issues?
It's fine. Mark, okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine. No, I think it does broaden it out a little bit, and I think what have you thought, Mr. Mayor, about what the process is as we move forward? Any thoughts on?
Well, I'm looking time-wise here, and with Christmas and so forth, we need to have like a special meeting to conduct interviews.
Yes.
I think that's important. And how long do we want to, today is the 8th. Lenore, will these be ready for Monday or Tuesday to be available at City Council?
Yeah, I have it in a Word doc now, so
Okay.
I can put it on the web first thing Monday.
Sounds great. And we want to take them till what date and start the interviews on what date? Given that,
Well, we have until January 5th, technically, which is a Saturday, so realistically it would be Friday the 4th, but I think it would probably be a good idea to try to get it finished by the end of December so that the new person is on board to start the new year.
I agree. Do you want to wait that long to interview? Or do you want to start taking interviews this week of the 10th?
I would think you'd want a short application deadline, Frank, and then to begin the interviews as quickly as possible. Yeah, because you're going to run into the week of Christmas. You're going to run into just the logistics of that. So yeah.
Would you say leave it open for the week of the 10th, the applicants?
Yeah.
I would try a different approach. I would give 2 weeks for applications to come in, and then during the last week of the month, schedule a special meeting to do the interviews. I think people are, is that too late?
Well, I think you're going to be closed. I mean, most of that last week, people are going to be on vacation. City Hall, you're going to have people out of town, and people who might have put their application in, and if I'm not mistaken, if people from Harris and so forth, that's usually the week off. You could leave it open till the 28th, and then we would be busy. And I try to keep the 2nd. We changed our council meeting, so we don't have a council meeting to the 9th. That would mean we'd meet on the 3rd or 4th of that week. We're going to cut it to the end. That's the only reason I was trying to get this thing going, where we have this week, maybe call a special meeting Thursday, or on the 20th, and then we'll have our information, we study it, and we come back on January 3rd, which is a Thursday.
Okay, let me back up here. So you're saying applications would close on the 14th, we'd have a special meeting on the 20th, and then another meeting on the 3rd or 4th? Is that what you're saying, Frank?
Yeah. I'm just looking at time.
I would really like to see a 2-week application period. The last thing that we need is the appearance of rushing this. And I would like to give maximum exposure to this, so if the applications could come in through December the 21st, which is a Friday, and then we could actually do the interviews that first week in January.
Now, let me just ask, are you sure the first week in January, given that the first day back to work for most of the individuals here is going to be the 2nd, that we're going to be ready on the 3rd to do interviews and vote the 3rd or the 4th? or maybe a suggestion is we end the applicants on the 18th. That gives us a week and plus the weekend.
Plus a weekend, yeah.
We do a special meeting on the 20th. Then it gives us some extra time, the 3rd and 4th, to hold a meeting for the vote. I'm just looking at time here. And if I get 50 people, who knows how many people you're going to get?
I know.
It's going to be up to us to make sure we give every applicant the opportunity.
And I agree with Lorraine as far as the sensitivity on making sure that we have enough time there. I'm just concerned about that week of the holiday there. Christmas would be miserable for our city staff.
Could open it up till the 19th, till the council meeting, and have a special meeting on the 20th.
All right.
And then come back. So, all right.
Okay.
Okay, Lenore, we'll leave it open till the 19th. Have a special council meeting if there's no other meeting in this room on that day, on the 20th.
There was tentatively scheduled to see code enforcement board meeting, but we can have them cancel that.
Okay. Thank you. And then we'll come back on, and I would like to leave us a day in here. Let's come back on the 3rd of January, which is another
That's a Thursday?
Thursday.
That's fine.
To do what? Make the selection?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And if it ran into we needed the extra day, we have the cushion in there to do so.
That sounds good.
Is that okay? Okay.
Excuse me, what time for the December 20th meeting? Depending on how many applicants you have.
6, I think we should start early.
Yeah.
6, or, I mean, I know,
No, that's fine. We'll work it.
6 o'clock?
6 p.m. 20th. Okay.
Yes, I'm on board with that.
Okay. Any further business?
All right.
Yeah.
Just so citizens know, the agenda on the 20th will be as follows. What will tentatively, what are you proposing?
Interview the applicants
Yes.
on the 20th.
Okay. I just want to make sure everybody knows what we're doing.
The ones that are in by closing of the City Hall business day on the 19th.
And would that be a special meeting or a workshop meeting on the 20th with the interviews?
Okay, so it's a
Special meeting,
We
yeah.
don't make any decisions, but
We're not making decisions that
we
night.
did a special meeting on the.
I would like to leave it as a special in case we had to make a decision.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, and are we finished with that? Because I'm going to come back to this form.
Yeah, let me open it up to this floor real quick and open up for citizen comments.
Bill Spiegelhalter, resident, 490 Glenwood Avenue. In this process, I would hope that we ascertain that the applicants can verify that they intend to attend the majority of the meetings in the seats here and not by some other means. Thank you.
Charlie, and then,
Charles Hinton, and I'm a resident of the city. I prepared a statement which I passed out to you, and I did that at the time because I looked at the agenda and didn't say anything on there about citizens' comments, and I wanted to get that message to you in case it did. For the audience, I'll read what it says, what I said to you, because some of the things that you have just finished would make this not applicable, but I'll read what I said anyway. I hope the council advertises in the community about the vacant seat and accepts resumes from people who would like to serve. I hope the council selects a person that cannot be described as a crony of any council member. I would like for you to publicly interview those who offer to serve on the council after selecting, if there are multiple applicants, those who seem to be the most qualified from the resume. I would interject a statement that my personal feeling was that you didn't have to interview everybody who sent an application in because they're going to sort themselves out as who is applicable to begin with. And if you have a lot of applicants, I don't think they all need to be interviewed. If you have some which you recognize to be generally superior to other people down on the list. Further, in the interview, I would think the potential council persons be outside the council chambers during the interview of other applicants, and each council person asks the same question to all the applicants. With thought, I think 4 questions, one from each, could elucidate enough information which used in connection with the resume, which you have on there for your qualifications, to make an intelligent choice. I would hope the council could select a new council person who is not necessarily in lockstep with the current council attitudes if the interview and resume indicate a thoughtful person.
Thank you.
Charlie took the words right out of my mouth, so I'm going to just speak on a couple of things. Number one, can we get this information out in the Today paper?
Your name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Gabe Fine, citizen. Can we get this information to the Today paper, maybe Hometown News, so there's maximum dissemination that there is an opening? The reason I ask that is I don't want in the future any accusations of cronyism. We selected people to work in lockstep with the rest of the council. I think this individual is going to be sitting there for the next 2 years. It is super important that we vet them as we will our new city manager that we're going to hire. I just want to go forward. I want to get things behind us, and I want to make sure that we have all our I's dotted and T's crossed. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further?
Real quick and in line with the schedule you were talking was,
Excuse me.
sorry.
Name.
Oh, sorry, Trevor Lowing, resident, Satellite Beach. The schools go out on January 20, or November 21st, and they come back on,
December.
December, winter vacation, all right, December 21st, and they come back on January 8th.
Okay, thank you. I think we're good, Trevor, on the first part. Unfortunately, the end, we have a deadline of that 30 days, so that's going to fall outside of that 8th.
Yeah, I think most people take vacation with Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other further comments? Hearing none, close it. Any more?
Yeah. I think we need to respond to the suggestion that we screen some folks out before we do interviews. That would not be appropriate. We need to interview everybody who applies. There's no way we can know whether or not they're suitable until after we talk to them.
I want this as open as possible and spend the time. It's important. 2 years, and so I'd like to, look at everybody.
Sounds good.
Okay. Any other business, Lorraine?
Yes, on this form, I would like the opportunity to look at it closely, which I haven't yet, to see what else I catch, and then I'll just go ahead and add these additional 3 questions on this form and then give it to Lenore.
Please make sure it's to Lenore Monday morning so we can
Yeah.
get it up on the list.
Are you thinking about more changes outside of the scope of this meeting, or just those 3
If I
questions?
find more errors on here, they would need to be corrected.
Okay.
Just for the record, Kate Mann will use that form.
I don't care, Lenore. Thank you.
That's fine. We'll do it.
Okay.
That's fine.
Any other?
Mr. Mayor, did you want resumes, or once the form is worked out, it's just submit that, or did you want any other accompanying documentation with that from any applicants?
I think they should be allowed to submit what
They
they
can
want.
submit what they want. If they
No
want-
required paperwork, but they can put whatever they want.
At least this.
But that's the minimum.
That's the minimum, okay, thank you.
Any materials they consider appropriate for consideration, Mr. City Manager, that'd be fine.
Thank you.
As far as I'm concerned.
Hearing no other business? Meeting's adjourned.
Need to say anything else about her interrupting us, do I? Do not. It's getting worse. I don't understand.
I don't.